Thousands of mourners are at St. Peter's Square, where thousands of Catholics have in fact gathered for the final journey of Pope Francis. Yesterday, the casket, which was in open state, was completely sealed with lead, and today it will be the final funeral that would be accorded to Pope Francis, and he would be laid to rest with other popes in the vault where the previous popes have been buried, and considered to be the successor to St. Peter. The Pope, in fact, joins with the first Pope, that is St. Peter, and the Fathers Ignatius, and the rest of the line of popes that have been in succession at Rome and later into the modern history as the Vatican State and head of Vatican State itself. Pope Francis, after battling with serious lung infections, passed away on Easter Monday. The Eastern Patriarchs, or the members of the sui juris churches, will be also having their rites also read during the funeral, as the Pope is the head of the Catholic churches, and the sui juris churches will also be in fact having their heads reading out the part of the funeral rites. The sui juris churches, which include the Syro-Malabar Church, the Syro-Malankara Church, the Coptic Catholic Church, the Ethiopian Catholic Church. We have the Melkite Catholic churches, the Syrian Catholic Church, the Maronite Catholic churches, and the Chaldean Catholic Church, all of them having origins in the East, and also with reference to the Ukrainian Catholic Church as well. The heads and primates of these Eastern Catholic churches would be also taking part in the prayer services. Meanwhile, one thing that has also been prominently seen is that the Latin Rite, which is the largest number of adherents in the Catholic Church, the prayers would be said in solemn Latin, and the prayers are in fact now being led by Cardinal Battista Re, who will be leading the funeral mass. As dawn broke, thousands of people have been gathering at the St. Peter's Square, and thousands of mourners and state leaders have in fact come to the Vatican for the funeral mass, the last journey of Pope Francis. Yesterday, just ahead of the funeral mass, the casket was in fact covered up as the Pope's body had laid in state inside the St. Peter's Basilica for people to in fact go ahead and pay their respects. Square, the funeral rites will be taking place, or the funeral mass will be taking place on the steps of the St. Peter's Basilica. Well, once the funeral rites are over, the conclave would be in fact called in to elect the new Pope for the Catholic Church. Pope Francis, who was the first non-European Pope hailing from South American country of Argentina. He was born in Buenos Aires and entered into priesthood quite early in his life, and after that had in fact become the bishop of Buenos Aires as well, after which he was elevated as a cardinal and later grew in the positions of the church, and then finally was elected as the Pope 10 years ago. There are 3 coffins which the Pope will be buried in. Pope Francis will in fact have a triple coffin burial. It symbolizes humility, preservation as well as dignity. Pope Francis had chosen the similar paths of trying to in fact being buried. One is a wooden casket, and then you have a leaden casket, after which you have another wooden casket that would be in fact taken and laid in state inside the vault of the St. Peter's Basilica, where other popes have also been buried. In fact, world leaders have joined in with the rest of them for the funeral of Pope Francis. Thousands of people gather at St. Peter's Square for the last rites to be taking place. Large crowds have fallen silent as the coffin was being moved from St. Peter's into the square. St. Peter's Basilica being the prominent headquarters of the Catholic Church and the witness to the rise of the Catholic Church and the papacy, and also St. Peter's Basilica being one of the historical monuments that has seen several popes being elected. The funeral service at St. Peter's Basilica has now begun. Cardinals and dignitaries have taken their seats at the piazza following individual moments of prayer in front of his coffin. There are several world leaders who have also been coming in to attend the funeral services. President Trump as well as Ukrainian President Zelenskiy have in fact confirmed their attendance. President Trump had in fact come and attended the funeral service in St. Peter's Square.